That's good to know. And Joanne, for you, was there a specific, Brian spoke about the health care. Is that what set you off? Was it the TARP? Was it the cap and trade? What set you off? I mean, brought you into activism?
Well, I when the president got in office, the red flags started going up because of the things that he said, and so I got on my computer and Googled Tea Party Nebraska, and found the group in Lincoln, and then joined them and tried to get more information and get more education, and yeah, all of the above got me involved.
Okay, and self-education is a good thing. We do have the internet. There are several organizations. Patrick Tarr is going to host a show a little bit later, or maybe even before this one, with a couple of organizers, and check that one out when it comes on. You can always go to givemelibertytv.wordpress.com for current events and upcoming events on Give Me Liberty TV. Dan, was there a specific moment that you said, enough is enough, I'm going to become we the people, and I'm going to be the boss?
Well, it was definitely leading up to the April 15 Tea Party events nationwide that I first became, say, politically active beyond, say, writing on my blog, which was not nothing, but not really going to change the world by itself, I think. So
well, you never know.
I was involved in organizing the Lincoln Tea Party event with Grassroots in Nebraska and kind of getting that organization started. I really just think that at that point I said, well, it's the spending, stupid. You know, this is really not going to be sustainable. It's going to be a big burden on the current economy, or our children and grandchildren, or both, or it's going to be inflated away and stolen from savers. I watched the government basically steal my grandparents' life savings with inflation in the 70s and the 60s, and now I'm seeing it do the same with my mother's life savings in the 20s and the 2010s, or the aughts and the teens, whatever they're going to be.
Yeah, there you go. So it's pretty much self-interest. You know, everybody wants to retire. Here's a question for you, and I'm just going to throw this out there, and unfortunately, Joanne, I'm going to start with you.
Okay.
And this just came to me in my little brain, and we hear the phrase grassroots, grassroots this, grassroots that. What does that mean to you? What is a grassroots movement?
The grassroots movement to me is, as I have said before, regular people, meeting regular people, talking and discussing. It seems like wherever I go, people are concerned, and they're not elected officials, and they're not, they're trying to put bread on the table, they're trying to educate their children, they're busy, but they assume that our elected officials are going to do what's best for them and for the country, and it's just doesn't seem like it's happening anymore. So people are starting to talk, and they're starting to say, how do I get educated to vote? I thought I knew, but maybe I don't. What are we doing? So that's regular people.
Well, in the past few decades, it's, in my opinion, and just the people that I've known around here and there in the places that I've lived, is yeah, you're going to vote tomorrow? Yeah, I'm going to vote tomorrow. Who are you going to vote for? I don't know, but I'm just going to walk in there and hold my nose and pick one. Mm-hmm. And we've got to get away from that.
Yep.
We've got to have a more informed electorate, and that's one of the greatest things about this grassroots movement, whether it be the Tea Party or the Tea Parties, the 9/12ers, whatever. It's people are becoming educated, and it's scaring the living dog spit out of the politicians. So keep getting educated. What do you think about grassroots? What is it to you, Brian?
The thing to me, and this is probably what put me over the edge and got me really involved, and that's the concept of U.S. exceptionalism. The thing that is exceptional about exceptional about the United States is that people can get involved because of the Constitution we had and can have again. And I say that with my tongue in my cheek a little bit because we haven't lost it totally. But if we don't pay attention, we are going to lose our Constitution. The great thing about America is, in the United States, is that we've made some mistakes over time, but we have corrected those mistakes. Other countries, for one reason or another, have lost a lot of their leadership. If you think about Europe and World War I and World War II, they lost whole generations of potential leaders, and now they're in a socialist economy that is being overtaken by the Islamic people who are moving into their countries and creating a new world order in Europe, whereas we have been protected by the Pacific and the Atlantic Oceans, and we did not lose that many people in those wars, and those people came back, and through science and through entrepreneurship and through grassroots activity, participating and working hard and coming up with good ideas and doing things on a day-to-day basis. They did not rely on others. They had ideas, and they went out and they created things, and they put things together, and they made their lives work for their own benefit and the benefit of their children and their grandchildren and for the benefit of the whole country. So it's the whole concept of U.S. exceptionalism versus that idea that socialism has, that we should drag everybody down to be the fertilizer for the grassroots rather than the grassroots themselves. But our grassroots are the things that are growing and pushing the things up above the soil that are the things you see, which are the automobiles and the planes and the chemicals and all the things that our economy creates through the work of individual grassroots people.
Outstanding. Dan, what does grassroots mean to you?
Well, I think Brian captured a lot of important ideas, and the underlying reason for American exceptionalism is the American idea, the American ideal of individual as opposed to group, in terms of rights, in terms of activities, in terms of each person's autonomy in determining the course of their own life. And that idea is much more foreign to a lot of places in the world than we realize as Americans, but unfortunately it's kind of becoming not 100% accepted here in the U.S. as well. You hear lots of talk about group rights and the like. Ultimately, individuals are the ones with rights, and the grassroots movements in the areas where they are fundamentally an exercise of those individual rights, the individual autonomy, and exercising those to have an impact on what the government does. And I think there's talk about AstroTurf and whether the so-called Tea Party movement is a creature of Fox News or a creature of the Republican Party. It's not anybody's movement. It's not one person or one organization's movement. People may try and take credit for it at the national level and claim to represent all the Tea Party people around the country, but nobody does, because each person in the group who would consider themselves a member of the Tea Party movement is really not answering to anyone that they don't want to. They're just acting on their own.
Well, yeah, I can see where a lot of organizations may want to co-opt the Tea Party movement or the 9/12ers or whichever, even Give Me Liberty TV. They may come after us someday, you never know. But
Bill, could I follow up on something that Dan
absolutely,
said?
go ahead.
On individual rights. One of the big differences between a focus on individual rights and group rights is the issue of control. Healthcare isn't about healthcare. Healthcare reform isn't about healthcare. It's about control. Gun rights isn't about gun rights. It's about control. One of the big differences between those who believe in individual rights and those who believe in gun rights is that if I'm an individual and I don't believe in having guns, I don't buy any guns. If I'm a person who believes in group rights, I say nobody can have guns.